is up, podcast, and welcome to the Race Flays Podcast Network. We have another amazing show for you today. It's something a little different. My live Twitch from August 24th. I went live for about 22 minutes. It's just a short episode talking about food, as always. Talked about food, talked about what I was eating during quarantine. Right now I'm quarantined with my son, so I haven't had too many opportunities to have people in the studio, so that makes it a little difficult to record interviews. Hopefully we'll have some more Zooms, some more lives, but always putting out great content for you. Don't forget you can support this channel for as little as $1 a month by clicking on that support link in the feed. If you need anything from us, we'd be happy to hear from you in the DM, and thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy this episode. What is up, Twitch? Welcome to the Twitch stream, Food Talk with Ray's Flaves. Everything about food. That's what we talk about here. That's all I do here. That's what I do every day. I be snacking away. And I'll tell you what, especially since I've been stuck in quarantine, because my son's over there in the room, he's got freaking COVID. I don't got COVID. He's got COVID. You know, when you take the test, it's got the C and the T. And when you see just the C, that means you are negative. But when the T comes up, you are positive. Now, when I take the test, it's just C with a lot of nice blankness on the right side. But when he takes the test, it's C, and immediately the T comes up. He is heavy-duty COVID. He puts that thing in there, and there's COVID all up in there. He has major COVID. Let me tell you, I've been with him all week. I've been going crazy. I can't be in the studio. I can't record anybody. I can't do any interviews. It's driving me nuts. So I got to have this Twitch. This Twitch is making me twitch. I got to have you guys. I got to talk to you guys. I am going crazy over here in my house in quarantine. But I'll tell you what has been saving me. And these are not my sponsors. I'm going to show you guys real quickly. What I do is every single day I take 2 of these. 7-in-1 Support by Dakota. I buy these online. Immune Defense. This is a killer vitamin, multivitamin. It's got tons of vitamins. Not only that, it has echinacea. I don't know how you say that. Echinacea, whatever it is. You guys know about that stuff. That stuff supports immunity. For some reason, that echinacea, it'll keep you from getting any kind of sickness. I don't know. And that's not, I'm not the FDA. I'm not a doctor. Check with your doctor. But that stuff's amazing. It's got ginger. You guys know ginger's amazing for the stomach, all kinds of other things. It's got elderberry. It's got vitamin C. You know that stuff is killer to get the viruses away. Vitamin D and turmeric. And you know turmeric is anti-inflammatory, and that stuff is great for getting rid of colds. And of course, zinc. And they say a lot about zinc when it comes to COVID. They say that we are lacking in zinc when it comes to people in America. But that's not where I end it. That is not where I end it. You know, I always take it to another level. So I got something new. Again, not my sponsor. Suja shots. Suja Immunity Defense shots. I grab one of these. There's no drink. I don't got to sit there and drink it and something like this. I don't got to drink on it all day long. You just open it up. I don't even know how many you're supposed to take of these. I took one earlier. I'll take one in it. I'm going to OD on Suja tonight. You guys might see me pass out right now. I'm going to take this right now. It's freaking awesome. That's got turmeric in it. It's got probiotics for your stomach. And that turmeric is good. It's good for colds. It's good for inflammation of the joints. All kinds of stuff. This has 5,000 milligrams of turmeric. It's got 200 milligrams of echinacea. Again, the echinacea. So I'm echinacea up over here because I got COVID in the other room. And so far, so good. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. I do not want to get COVID. I'm already going nuts. Been here since Sunday in quarantine. I'm going nuts over here. Can't be stuck over here. I can't be stuck over here. Stuck in quarantine, unable to do interviews. I got to see you. I got to talk to you. I got to see what's up. Tell you what, there's always a positive to things, though. Always a positive to things. Always a positive to things. If you guys are in there, if you guys are seeing me, put your name in the chat there. Put your comments in. I want to see your comments tonight too. We have so much to talk about. We're not going to be on here very long, though. Not going to be on here very long, but we've got a lot to talk about. But the most exciting part about tonight is at the end of this conversation, we're going to jump over to another stream on Twitch called Ramon Works. Ramon Works is a video game channel. My creative director is over there playing video games, probably Zelda or something like that. At the end of this conversation, we're going to jump into his stream. So if you've never done Twitch before, this is probably going to freak you out because we're going to go from this stream to another stream, and you guys aren't going to have to do anything. I'm going to do it all from behind the scenes. I'm going to push you into Ramon Works, and you'll be watching him play video games after we're done here. But again, we've got a lot to talk about. Put your comments in the chat. If you're with me, put your comments in the chat. I want to see who we got here. Lots of people coming in, but lots of stuff to talk about. You know, the great thing about being in quarantine is just like when COVID first started. When COVID first started, there wasn't no restaurants open. You couldn't go anywhere. Governor Newsom had us stuck indoors, couldn't go nowhere unless it was necessary. We couldn't go nowhere. So what did we do? We couldn't, there was no restaurants. So we had to do what we did. We had to create our own food. Now, most of us, like me, we don't know nothing about cooking. We have no idea. So we had to go and jump on to YouTube. We had to jump on YouTube and try to figure it out. Figure out how to cook. Now, I knew a couple things from my dad. My dad was a great cook. Loved to cook breakfast, loved to cook for us, did all the cooking. My mom was mostly a baker, so he did most of the cooking as far as the dinner type stuff. So I knew a little bit, stuff that he yelled at me or showed me. I shouldn't say yell, he showed me. Showed me how to do it, showed me how to do it. You know Mexican families. Showed me how to do it. And so I had that little bit of experience, but I also had something that no other generation has had besides this first COVID. We have YouTube. We have YouTube, and we had to figure it out. So I would go back there, I built a fire pit in the backyard, bricks everywhere, got an old kettle, like a kettle. I'd make stew out there. I'd freaking make hot wings. I'd blaze out some hot wings out there. And so I slowly started learning because we had no choice, right? Nothing was open. We had no choice. So, same thing that happens when we're in quarantine. Just like right now I'm in quarantine. Can't go anywhere. Can't go to restaurants. Had to hit the phone. Instagram, Instacart. And get my groceries. Get the things I need, loaded up. Costco. There's Costco and Instacart. It's crazy. You put your membership in, you can get anything you want. Get all kinds of food, orange juice, apple juice, Kirkland, everything. You know, Kirkland makes everything, even grapes. Everything from Costco. So it was crazy. Sunday, I made some discada. Do you guys know what discada is? If you guys know what discada is, put it in the comments. Discada is something crazy. Let me tell you about discada. Discada is basically something that they do in Mexico. When they do the harvest, there's these big wheels, these giant discs that turn and churn the ground. When they're harvesting and they're trying to turn the ground, they use these big giant discs. Well, the farmers take those discs off the machines, clean it up. They take the disc, they build a fire, a big old fire, let it come down a little bit, and they put that big old disc on top of the fire, and then they cook on top of that disc. I'll say it again. They take a disc, they put it on the fire. Once it warms up, put a little oil in it, and they cook on the disc. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that ingenuity at its finest? They take a disc and make that their pan, put it on the fire, and they cook right on there. Now, discada has multiple ingredients. We're talking not just one meat. We're talking pork tenderloin. We're talking flank steak. We're talking, it starts off with chorizo. It starts off by like with some bacon, rendering up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Instead of just talking about it, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Starts off with some bacon, get the potatoes in there, you get the pork tenderloin in there, you get some flank steak, and then eventually some actual pork stock. So I spent hours creating that pork stock, put it in there, and then I top it off with some of those Anaheim chilies, make some tacos. But again, it all starts with bacon and chorizo and getting that rendered down and putting in potatoes, your flank steak, pork tenderloin. As you can see, I don't have a freaking disc because I ain't harvesting out here. This is Los Angeles. This is Whittier, California. This isn't Fresno. This isn't Tulare. We're not out there farming, pushing the ox around. All I have is a 24-inch made-in pan, which is huge. What I like about the made-in pan, now these are special made-in pans. These are not just any made-in pan. This 24-inch made-in pan is actually made for fire. So I can actually stick this whole pan on the charcoal just like you see there. So that's what I was doing when I did the discada. I actually used that pan and put the pan right into the fire at times. If I wanted it hot, super hot, and I wanted it to boil, once I had that stock in there, I wanted to bring the heat up. I wanted it to really get really hot and boil down that pork tenderloin, boil down that flank steak, kind of just render it down, all the fat that's on it, slowly render down that fat in that boiling hot stock, which is pork, which I use pork stock. Supposedly they use like beer in the traditional one, but I didn't have no beer, I don't drink, so I had made some pork stock, Always save, that's another good tip, always save your pork cutlings. If you're gonna do ribs, you're gonna clean those ribs up. If you're gonna do brisket, save the beef cutlings. Always save your cutlings, put them in a bag, put them in the freezer so that later on you can make a killer stock and it's going to go with everything. You can use pork stock to make potatoes. You can use pork stock to make meatballs. There's some crazy recipes that are out there. You can do all this stuff. So that was Sunday. And then on Monday, I wanted to do some chicken wings. Chicken wings is what I wanted to do. Again, I said I ordered stuff from Costco. Costco has a big old bag of wings that you can order. Now, you can go to any store, sometimes the wings, they don't even have them because they're like short. I don't know what happened to the chicken wings. I don't know if people have been stealing the chicken wings. There ain't no chicken wings in the store. But at Costco, they got a big old bag. You can get that big old bag. And it came to my door, divvied it out, made about 24 of them, put a little salt and pepper. I put a little spicy barbecue rub on there, and then also to kind of get rid of the moisture. Guys, put in the feed if you know what to do about getting rid of some of the moisture when you're cooking chicken. I use a little cornstarch. Now in the past, I've used flour. Flour works really well. I think cornstarch kind of starts to give it kind of that breadiness to it for some reason. So I think I like the flour better. I tried cornstarch this time, but I like the flour much better. Much better. It just came out too bready like the cornstarch. It's cool if you want it bready like. You're just gonna have to cover the whole thing more instead of like I did. Parts of it were bready, parts of it were not bready. And then started it off, something I've never tried before, but started it off in the air fryer. And then after like 10 minutes, took them out and then deep fried them in the pan. Deep fried them in the pan till they were golden brown, till they were over 165, and they were ready to go. Now I have to credit my guy TG. What's his name? TG. Let me look him up real quick. TFTI.barbecue. TFTI.barbecue. If you guys want to know how to make chicken wings, that is the guy to show you how to make chicken wings. He makes incredible chicken wings. Now, the important thing about his chicken wings, not only does he show you the little tricks that I just talked about salt and pepper, some spicy, start off with a spicy rub. Now, why do I start off with a spicy rub? Great question. Start off with a spicy rub because at the end of it, you want it to be spicy. Now, that's you pre-thinking, I want it spicy. These are the wings that I want. I want them to be spicy. So you got to pre-think, if I want it to be spicy at the end, then in the beginning, I'm going to start off with a spicy rub. So I used a spicy rub, and that began the process. And then Tony, of course, taught me how to use flour on the wings before you start to cook them, because that will actually help you with the drying out, and it'll get it nice and crispy. That's the good thing about using the flour. Then, what is super dope about Tony? What he does is you got to go on his Instagram, tfti.bbq. If you check out he has so many different recipes on buffalo sauce. Super spicy buffalo sauces, medium buffalo sauces, buffalo Cajun sauces, garlicky Cajun sauces. He uses a lot of garlic. I like the way he minces his garlic as well. The way it makes it look is fantastic. But the flavoring, if you want to learn how to start making these buffalo sauces, these traditional buffalo sauces, the way it tastes in restaurants and multiple different styles of buffalo sauce, then that is the way to go. Make sure that you do that. Because tfti.barbecue is the way to go. That guy shows you all kinds of stuff, and so that's where I get a lot of my. That's where I got it to taste like a restaurant. If you follow that guy, you'll make it taste like a restaurant. So that was Monday. Now Tuesday went crazy. Was still already going crazy. You know, I got to be busy. I'm always working, but I got to be moving around. Can't be stuck in one place, and I've been stuck in one place for 4 days already. Wait, 3 days, 4 days since Sunday. So Tuesday was chili bean time. Chili bean time, a recipe from where did I get that recipe from? I got that from Meat Church recipe. It's got chuck roast. It's got hamburger meat. It's got breakfast sausage. It's got diced tomatoes, diced Italian tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, chipotle peppers in there, in the can, in the sauce, chopped up, put it in there, onions, garlic, of course. But you gotta chop the chuck roast in quarters, chop everything up in 1/4-inch pieces, brown it up, and then put that stuff all in your crock pot and let it ride for 8 hours. 8 hours. Now, traditional Texas chili does not have beans. What? Did you hear me? Californians. Traditional Texas chili does not have beans. It's all meat. So it had chuck roast, it had hamburger meat, it had sausage. But I'm a freaking Californian. I threw beans in there. I'm a freaking Mexican. I threw beans in there. It didn't matter. I threw some beans in there. So you got to let it go for 8 hours, because those freaking beans, if they don't go, first of all, pre-boil them before you even put them in the crock pot. Pre-boil them a little bit and then throw them in there. You guys, if you've ever cooked beans, oh my freaking God, does that take long? It takes at least 8 hours. You got to boil that stuff for 8 hours on low, and eventually it will be soft. It takes so freaking long. I don't know how my grandma did. Every single day she had a pot of beans for breakfast. I don't know how she did. She must have woke up at midnight or something to make those beans. Incredible. I don't know how she did it. Grandma always had beans. Grandma always had homemade flour tortillas. I don't know how she did it. But that was Tuesday, chili beans. So, what did we have for breakfast today? Today's Wednesday. What did we have to breakfast? We had leftover chili beans. We had chili beans at night. Of course, Tuesday night we had chili beans. So what did we have for breakfast? Wednesday we had chili beans. But on top of those chili beans for breakfast, I love chili beans for breakfast. I love breakfast. I love dinner for breakfast, but definitely chili beans for breakfast. And to top it off, I put a hard-boiled egg. Actually, yeah, no, just actually an over-easy egg. Over-easy egg, not a hard-boiled egg. I don't know what I'm talking about. Over-easy egg, because my friend Kevin on Instagram was commenting that he wanted an over-easy egg, so I threw that on top, and that was that. We got an over-easy egg on the chili beans. Cool, cool, cool. That is my week in food. Put it in the chat if you want to talk about your week in food. Put it in the chat. If not, I want to let you guys know. Last night or yesterday morning, we launched the Gordo's Barbecue podcast. If you have not listened to the podcast, make sure you listen to the podcast because it is an amazing show. I must say so myself. Got a lot of cool people on the show. I got Gordo's Barbecue on there yesterday. Tomorrow, Wifey's Kitchen's coming on. We got Wifey's Kitchen on the show tomorrow. It launches tomorrow morning. Wifey Mills Kitchen is going to be on the show tomorrow morning. Make sure you catch that. Make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you hit the bell to make sure that you don't miss any shows, and do it. Cool. Are you guys ready to raid Ramon's channel? Are you guys ready to go see some Ramon Works video games? Are you ready to go see Ramon do some video games? Are you ready to see him play Zelda or whatever he's playing? Let's go find out what he's playing. Guys, thank you for watching. We're going to do a lot more of this, but make sure you follow the Twitch stream. Make sure you follow my Twitch channel, and we will see you next time. Let's raid Ramon Works.